Ms Legalista here. Welcome. But I want to jump into talking about Fifth Third Bank. But they've got a list of different kinds of fraudster schemes, whatever you want to call it. And the only thing is, it's not very clear. They just have these definitions. And I don't know that people really understand what some of these things are if you just read it. So the first one is they're saying these are some common types of attacks. The first one is phishing. This is don't fall for fish bait. Something fishy arrived in your inbox. Phishing emails are a common way that fraudsters try to get unsuspecting recipients to share personal and financial information. Avoid the bait, learn how to spot it. So they've got some information there that you can check on it, but it's helpful to understand what the email looks like. Usually it's an email that may look like an account or a party that you're used to dealing with. And they're asking you for information or telling you, well, click on this link. And before you know it, you've clicked on a link and then it's asking you for information. You're putting in your password because you think that that is a legitimate link. And it turns out it's not. And so now they've fished and you have taken the bait and you're putting in your information. So I just got an email earlier today from a third party company that I do some work with. And there was a space for me to click on something. It was saying, hey, can you check on this with your account? Well, what did I just say? I'm no longer assuming that that is from a correct party, from a legitimate source. So I close that out, go to my account, open up another tab and go to my account directly. Like, don't even go through their email. Like, even if it's the party that you think it is, even if you're looking at the domain and the domain matches, there is so much that they can do now with technology. Like, don't even do it. Go directly to your account. So phishing, that's what phishing looks like. Smishing, you guys, I know you're like, who comes up with these terms? So usually that has to do with SMS messaging, which is texting. They're sending you a text on your phone, which is sort of doing the same thing. It has a link and it's telling you, you know how sometimes you get those text messages and it might say something like your uh, I don't know, Cash App account or PayPal account or Zelle account or something from your bank and click here. And it's not really them. This is another party phishing trying to get your information. They're just doing it via a text message. Okay. That's what smishing is. So it's the same sort of thing. And as you see there, it says like phishing emails fraudsters will use SMS messaging. It's the same thing. Then you have malware attacks, which is, you know, it appears on your computer. It appears your computer has a virus. So people fall for this one too. They go to these websites and all of a sudden there's a pop-up or something on their computer that says, oh, you're infected. You're infected. You have a virus. Click here so that we can fix this now. And of course, there's a sense of urgency that you have. Like, I can't wait. I have to click on it right now. Otherwise, my whole computer might get infected. I might not be able to get back in. I've got important information up here that I can't have somebody hack or share because then maybe it's work or maybe you have a business and you have other people's information on your computer. And so now all of a sudden you're feeling very, under pressure because this thing has popped up on your computer and you're not sure what to do. And you feel like, oh my gosh, I got to do something. I got to do something. It says I have some sort of computer virus. Well, it's not real. It's fake. Okay. It's fake. It says a window will pop up prompting you to call a number to get your computer fixed. Don't call. Don't call. In this scheme, the fraudster will ask for payment information and even take over your computer to fix the problem. In reality, the criminal is accessing your account information, opening the door for theft in the form of counterfeit checks, ACH transactions, and more. Because they're going to go in your laptop, get as much information as they can, and then the next thing you know, you'll be checking your bank account and money will be gone. So that's why you want to watch out for these things that pop up on your computer. Ransomware attacks. You don't hear as much about that because usually they're going after businesses, not as much with just regular people. Because it's just like, why go after a regular person who's what, gonna pay me how much? They may only have what, family photos, maybe some work stuff on their computer. They're not probably not going to pay a $50,000 ransom for you to get off of their computer. Whereas if you go after a major corporation or a large business that has some back doors where you've been able to hack in and get in, So it says ransomware is a type of malware that can take over your computer and your information, and your system may become unusable while the hacker prompts you for payment. It's like a hijack. They hijack your computer and you can't do anything about it. They essentially lock you out and they say, "Oh, until you pay us and until you pay us this amount, you can't get back in." And so think about all of the things that you may have on your computer, access to certain accounts, your own financial information because that's what you're using your computer. You may have saved passwords and things of that nature on your computer, and now you can't get any of this stuff. And it may be possible that this other person can get all of it. So it's like a double whammy. It's just awful. Data breaches. Okay. There have been so many of these this year. I've gotten so many letters. I think I still have a couple. It's like, your information's been exposed. Your information's been exposed. You don't even know what has been exposed because it's not like they know for sure. They make very broad statements about information that may be released. But again, some of these are not even things that you can do anything about. If somebody else that you deal with, if your medical care provider gets hacked and has a data breach, well, that's really outside of your hands. So it's interesting some of the things that they have on this list on Fifth Third Bank because there's not really anything you can do about it. But when you get that letter and they tell you, hey, you can sign up for credit monitoring and all that, we'll go ahead and do it. Theft. Okay, so literally, I had so many trash bags full of shredded paper that we actually had to put some of those bags in my neighbor's trash bin today because I shred. I shred. I have a shredder. And as a matter of fact, the shredder gets so hot that it stops working and you have to wait for the red light to go off and it cool down before you can start back shredding again. So that's how much shredding I have been doing the last few days, trying to just clean up for the fall. So, yeah, people still do this. It says fraudsters will go as far as going through your trash to look for sensitive information they can use. So, you people who are just throwing your bank statements away, just putting them in the trash, that is if you are still getting them in the mail, because a lot of people are not. They're just like, nope, just send me an email electronically. And then the last one is self-exposure, is you sharing information with a scammer, and you may not even know it's a scammer. So let me give you this example because I'm going to tweak it a little bit, something I read about recently. An attorney who had a prospective client reach out to her to say, hey, I'm going to be purchasing a property, and I'm tweaking the story a little bit. I'm going to be purchasing a property, and can you handle the funds transfer for me? And of course, they had a few virtual or phone call conversations. And so the attorney gives this other party her account information so that the funds can be wired to her. And the next thing you know, this person's accessing her account and taking money. So you have to be careful about who you're giving this information to. Even when you're signing up with other companies that you think are legitimate, they might not be legitimate at all.